everyone, Michelle Lim here. I'm very excited about this video. Sorry it's taken a little while, and also sorry if it's a little dark. I'm filming this at 7, nearly 7 o'clock at nighttime, and it's kind of getting a little dark, but I thought I would do it now. Otherwise, if I tried to wait until tomorrow morning, I would probably procrastinate and then I wouldn't get this video out. So, without further ado, I want to go through my new subscribers before we start this video. So, shout out to It's Not Shakespeare, Alvin, Sumit, Victor, Will, Jaren, Carl, Paolo, Joshua, Noah, Coconut Milk, Cigar Box, Kenzie, Andy, who's my friend from Sydney. Woo! Shout out to Andy and Jackie as well. Thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate it. So today I want to talk to you guys about my set that I did in San Francisco. So my first set in San Francisco, and I want to go through some things that I noticed that I did that I didn't really like, and also like two good things which I really like that I do now, which I've been trying to work on for a little bit of time. So firstly, the things that I didn't like that I did, well, I guess the main one is that I looked at my hand a lot because I had notes written on my hand, and that's like a big no-no that you shouldn't really do. So I guess because it was a little bit ad hoc and I hadn't planned to be going to do comedy, but I had just gotten like a last minute call. I had written down some of my jokes and then I couldn't remember them all because I didn't have time. So I used my hand as like a little bit of a notepad. But when you're doing a gig, and especially if it's a paid gig, then you should really try to know your set by memory. So I have a video on how to practice doing your set so that it's like smooth for you. And you should have a look at that. So you should really try to practice your set. I've actually got a set on Wednesday that I'm preparing for. So tonight I'm going to be like going over it and just making sure that I'm really comfortable with all of the jokes and the flow and the sequence so that I don't have to bring notes on stage because it's really not a good look. But if you're at an open mic night and you're just testing out new material, then it's more acceptable to do that. But if you're like, performing for a paid audience, then obviously you don't want to be looking at your hand or a notebook. And also not at your phone. Like it doesn't make it better if it's just on your phone. I still feel like it's kind of like, it just shows that you're not as polished as you would want to be. So try to avoid doing that. Other things that I noticed that I did was I said like a lot. I always say like a lot when I'm talking. And I don't know if people notice that or not. It's just like that I notice, and obviously I would try not to say it, but that's kind of my natural, I don't know, way of speaking. So it's a little bit hard to change. But if you can help it, try not to say like or or things like that. And I notice that I do that because I say so a lot as well. I always begin a lot of my sentences with so I did this and this and this. And when I'm writing it, I will write so, but then I have to consciously cross it out and try to just start with I went to the shops today. So I don't need to say, so I went to the shops the other day, but I feel like I use it as a crutch because it helps me transition from one story to another story. But hopefully I can just, get rid of that altogether. I guess it's the point of trying to use as few words as possible to get your story across, and you don't need to be using all these little filler words if possible so that your joke is delivered in the most efficient manner. Okay, the other thing that I do, which I guess is not really a bad thing, it's probably more like a personal quirk that I have, but I turn around a lot, I suppose. So, um, when I'm talking, you might notice that I move around a lot, and when you see other comics on Netflix or for other comedy shows, they kind of just stand there with their mic and they talk like this. I don't know. I mean, I try to move around because I like to address different people in the audience and then I don't feel like I'm focusing on one person, which is kind of creepy. And I do have a video about, I think, stage work or something where I talk about pacing or scanning the room or something like that. So I don't mind it, but I guess I'm kind of a little bit jerky, which, not like beef. I'm a little bit jerky, so I guess it might be a little bit distracting to some people, but it's kind of a little idiosyncrasy that I have. Um, what I do like about my set and what I've been trying to work on for a little bit now is that I like how I have a good pause between my punchlines, or before I execute my punchline, I have a little bit of a pause so that everyone can really take some time to think to let the joke sink in a little bit before I deliver the punchline. I remember that for my first couple of sets, and especially if you see my first comedy set ever, which was like recorded and it was I sound like a chipmunk in it for some reason, but I was really rushed and I would like set up the joke and then I would say the punchline really quickly. But what that means is that the audience doesn't get enough time to fully like soak in and experience the joke before I deliver the punchline. So I've been trying to work on being comfortable with that silence because I know that sometimes it's a little bit hard to be comfortable with silence. And also on the back of that, I really like now how I don't rush into my next joke. So when I tell a joke and everyone's laughing, I don't mind just sitting back and letting them enjoy the laugh before I move on to the next joke. In the past, I used to have people laugh, but then I would kind of cut them off half laugh because I was scared that I was, going to lose their attention if I didn't move on straight away to the next joke. But now I feel like I like it how I can let them laugh for a little bit and I just take my time. I let them enjoy that joke for a little bit before moving on to the next joke. So don't feel like you have to cut all your jokes. I mean, cut all the laughter short from the audience. Let the audience enjoy the laugh. Laughing is kind of like it's like a bell curve. They'll laugh and then they'll get to the top, and then you wanna tell the next joke when it's coming down. Don't start telling the next joke when they're at the peak of their laughter, because then they're gonna cut it off, and then it's really loud and they can't hear what the next joke is gonna be. So make sure you kind of let that joke laughter die down a little bit before you tell your next joke. Um, I think that was the only stuff. Oh, the other thing, which was bad. Sorry, I should have. Oh no, this is no. Anyway, I was gonna do a compliment sandwich, but now I don't have anything good to say after this next bad bit. But I didn't like how a lot of my jokes were kind of a little bit. I felt like they were a little bit long-winded. I guess it's because I hadn't really practiced my jokes in a whole set, so I had to repeat a lot of stuff, and I felt like maybe the audience was getting a little bit bored because I was taking too long to set up all the jokes. So you really want to make sure that your JPM, technical term, jokes per minute, are quite high. You don't want to take too long to set up the story of the joke and then have a punchline at the end if you can help it. Like, obviously, take as long as you need to deliver all the relevant information, but you don't need to like warble on about something. Just say it and then move on to your punchline. So I felt like maybe my jokes were a little bit long, but I guess I can try to tighten that up. Anyway, I'm going to try to record my set on Wednesday that I'm going to do. So hopefully you can see if I did better or if I'm just the same as I was before. But anyway, practice makes perfect, and I guess that's what we're all here for. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you like it, and I will see you guys very soon. Thanks. Bye.